So, dear participants, this session will be taken by Dr. Anupam Kumar. He's assistant professor in Triple IT Kota in the department of one minute, please. Let me. Yeah, Dr. Anupam Kumar is the assistant professor in the department of Electronics and Communication Engineering in Triple IT Kota, and as I have mentioned a few times yesterday, he is my colleague, and we both are working on wearable devices. He is an expert in fuzzy logic devices, especially for manipulators. So I requested him to take the control part of a manipulator, and he will try to keep it simple, like 2 degree of freedom only. Yesterday, I saw you a haptic glove which has higher degree of freedom. So it's not good idea uh, to, to start with the complex problem. We will keep it simple: 2 degree of freedom or 3 degree of freedom. It will be two, I think, and two DOF is also sufficient to see the complexity of to see the mathematical complexity of the control algorithm. Let's say fuzzy logic based control algorithms. Without taking much time, just this is just the overview of the talk. I request Dr. Anupam Kumar to please continue.
Thank you, sir. We will thank you for your short information about the topic or today topic. So I will keep simple as much as possible and try to cover control as well as manipulator part. So I think my slide is visible. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Visible.
Okay. So here I'm going to take few basic things. What is control, and then fuzzy logic, control application in robot manipulators, which is just Mr. has explained about in last lecture. I think last class he explained about the manipulator arm kind of things, right? So it is just a 2DF manipulator, and so in control application, what is our role in the robot manipulator? That is very important in robot application or any kind of application. So what we are doing, we are applying the control part just before the manipulator or any kind of wearable robotics, any kind of thing, right? And our part is to control that particular, right? So this is one kind of feedback kind of system we are using, right? I'm just explaining the overview, right? So if I know the participant from the electronics, computer, and mechanical department, so they can correlate things with uh, control system, right? So this is your controller, and controller is used to control that particular part, and some reference trajectory is given to here, and that trajectory will follow by robot. So this reference trajectory can be generated by different way, like trajectory planning and different way are, it depends upon what kind of problem we are working. Accordingly, we can get the trajectory. So in my case, I have taken a predefined trajectory for robot applications, and that our aim is to follow that trajectory, right? So in my research area, I'm mainly focusing on the control part, where we are we were providing different types of control approaches for controlling the robot application for the robot type of parts. Okay, so this is overview, and I will try to cover few dynamic modeling of robot manipulator, not detail, the simple one, and try to see how it will be implemented in MATLAB also, right? And we will try to also accommodate the things, means what is if we have a mathematical model, how can we implement in MATLAB in Simulink diagram? We will try to see that also. And as a controller part, if you are electronics engineer, then the first one, the I can say that that is a very conventional control technique, that is PID. That is proportional integral derivative. That is a combination of PID, and most of time in I can say that in our industrial application, the people are using the PID only because of 95% of industrial application. Still nowadays also 95% of people are using this PID only because it is very simple. Are the I can say that the modification in PID as per the requirement of the plant. Sorry, they are updating the PID things. They are changing the structure and etc. Right. So here, how my presentation will flow. I will try to first. I will talk about the historical background of fuzzy, because I'm working on fuzzy controller designing kind of thing. Then fuzzy logic system, the small introduction about fuzzy logic. Then what is the application of fuzzy logic, and one of the application which we are using as a robot application. A lot of things are available to control or to monitor every right, that can be done through the fuzzy logic system, fuzzy logic control techniques. So one of the application we are going to observe is robot application, right? So I'm mainly working on the fuzzy, and that is two type of fuzzy available in the literature, that is type 1 and type 2 fuzzy. So I'm working on it, and I try to explore those things in my today class. Okay. So he's the Professor Lottie Jade, and he was proposed this technique around 1965, that is fuzzy logic. And he at that time he was professor in UC Berkeley professor, and now he is emeritus professor. Now he I think 2 year back he expired. He in one of his paper that is published around 1965 has more than 90,000 citations. That is the first paper which he talked about the uncertainty, right, and vagueness. That is the core part of fuzzy logic. Okay, and before that, that term was in 1920 around infinite value logic. By that term was introduced by that professor, right, around 1920. But at the time, it was not a famous, and proper solution, proper things is given by the Lottie Jade, that is also known as L.A. Jade, right, around 1965. And in another paper in around 1975, he demonstrated about the second part of version in the different type of applications, right? And later on, many other researchers are started working in this area. And in around, I can say that around 80s, 90s, right, the Japanese company has developed the washing machine and different type of applications related to the fuzzy logic. And after that, that technique become more famous, I can say that. And in research community, it is adopted long back, right? So again, actually, this is a fuzzy logic is part of soft computing, right? Actually, before going to fuzzy logic, we must know all those things. That's why I'm covering basic, very basic things, and then we will go to the detailed control application. Sorry. So soft computing is the branch, right, where fuzzy logic evolutionary computation, neural network, and probabilistic reasoning comes in the picture, right? This is the broad area I can say. So the computing has a two parts: soft computing and hard computing. In soft computing, majorly we have fuzzy logic, ANN, that is artificial neural network or neural network, and another one is optimization technique, which is based on the meta heuristic kind of thing, right? That is also known as evolutionary computation. Evolutionary means which is inspired from the human being, right, or from the nature, we can say. Okay, so yeah, so here you can see that soft computing is also consists neural network. Right now, you know that the deep neural network are the deep learning techniques are totally inspired by that neural network, right? So I can say that nowadays the computer science, mainly computer science and electronics, who are working in this field, they have started working on the deep learning, right? And that is the basic part of neural network. Means the deep learning is inspired from the neural things. Okay. And if we talk about hard computing, so soft computing is not providing the precise solution, right? What does mean? Means is the meaning is that and the term soft computing is coined by the Professor L.A. Jardé around 1965, and he said that if any vagueness, suppose I am working on one problem. Okay, I am taking hard computing where you can easily understand. Suppose I am working on one problem, that is x squared plus 2x plus 1 equal to 0, right? If we solve that problem, we will get x equal to, that is minus 1, 1, 1. Sorry. Right? So it means we are getting the precise result, right? And because of this precise result, this is known as a hard computing. Hard means the result will be same for all the operation, right? And that term was also given by the L.A. Jardé in around 1996, right? And he said that precise result is guaranteed in case of hard computing, and control action is sir, what?
बनी जी, आप अनुपम सर को कुछ होस्ट या को होस्ट बना दीजिए, सो ही विल बी एबल टू म्यूट अदर्स.
उन्होंने को होस्ट बना रखा है, लेकिन आई थिंक I cannot mute or unmute, right?
सर ये जो लेफ्ट पैनल पे जो आ रहे हैं ना पार्टिसिपेंट्स, वहां जो स्क्रीन पे आ रहे हैं टोटल, वहां पे उस नाम पे क्लिक करके वो हो जाता है.
Yeah, I'm trying, but
ये नहीं, ये लिस्ट के बजाय this left panel on the entire screen, left panel on the entire, yeah. Okay.
I think no problem. So okay, so in case of hard computing, the control action is unambiguous means we will obtain a guaranteed result, and the result should be the same, right? But if just we have taken one numerical example where we are calculating the root of a polynomial, and you know that root of polynomial will be the same for all the operations, right? If we are integrating something, right, we'll get the same result like cos and something, right? So these are known as a hard computing, means we are getting the same result for all the operations. It means same result for number. Suppose I'm doing sin x here, and after 1 year I'm doing same operation, we will get the same answer. But in case of soft computing, that may not be possible, right? Searching and sorting technique is also one other example of hard computing. Solving computational geometry problem, right? Like shortest tool in a graph, finding closest pair of point given a set of points, right? If 2 points are given and we are calculating the shortest point, that so these are the hard computing examples. In case of soft computing, if we are applying, if we are doing one operation and we are getting some, suppose we are getting some result is x equal to 0.5. In the next time we are doing same operation with the same technique, we may get the different results. But right, so that is the result is not guaranteed, but uh, right, that is that is, I can say that soft things. Okay, so what is the important point or characteristics of the software computing, that it does not require an exact mathematical model. What does it mean? Suppose we are working on the robot manipulator, right? Robotic things, and the plant characteristics that the robot parameter, that is, suppose robot has spring, some other component it has, and that you know that after some time, as time passes, as or we can say that as uh, different temperature, right? Suppose we have simulated things in summer, right? And we are working, and we have started we have again simulating same thing in winter, we may get the different result because of the spring characteristics may change due to the atmospheric condition. Maybe the maybe due to the I can say, due to the time passes, the 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 things become, I can say that the total things are decaying kind of things, right? So as time passes, the the plant parameter will change, that are possible, right? And if the plant parameter is going to change their characteristics, then we require such type of control techniques which any changes they can handle that type of problems. So that's why we can say that this soft computing, especially the fuzzy, become important in such type of application. Suppose we have sent one robot in space, right? And we can control it by the remote control kind of thing, right? If any due to the atmospheric condition, any characteristics will change. At the time, accommodating our controlling that robot may be difficult, right? So in such cases, the fuzzy works properly because it does not require exact mathematical model of the problem, right? And that algorithm can be adaptive. Adaptive means it can update itself as per the plant characteristics. Suppose the it can adjust to the change of dynamic environment of the that particular dynamic of the robot, right? So this is a very simple the introductory part related to soft and hard. What is the difference, exact difference we can obtain, right? So if we talk about the soft computing is inspired from, I can say that that is evolutionary computing. One of the evolutionary computing technique is genetic algorithm. and that was inspired from the human things, right? Another is ant behavior, that is ant optimization technique, and another one is particle swarm optimization technique. So, and another one is neural network that is inspired from the human nervous system. Particle swarm is inspired by the bird flocking system. Okay, so these techniques are inspired from our environment availability, right? Like human, like particle swarm, genetic, and right, everything. So here we will try to understand uh, what is now. Now we will go on the right? So we have covered hard and soft computing, right? So now we'll try to understand fuzzy logic, right? So in fuzzy logic, I am taking one of the simple example in order to understand that particular concept, right? So if you understand this particular example, you can easily understand that what is the major differences between fuzzy sets and classical sets, right? What is fuzzy set? A classical set, you know the classical sets, the classical set like which you have studied in your 10th, 12th classes, that is classical set, right? So it is also the fuzzy set and all everything is that was given by the LA Jardine. Okay, so I'm taking one example. Suppose apple is red, right? If any suppose one apple is there and anyone asking that it is red or not. So the classical set answer are, we can say that the Boolean answer, right? The classical set answer will be two answer we have, like one or zero, yes or no. So red, so anyone can say, any person is there and uh, he is saying yes. He has two options only, yes or no, or one or zero. Means it is red or not red, right? Now the fuzzy set, that is classical kind of classical set or Boolean set, right? Which you have, very well about the set things, right? Now fuzzy set is a more general concept of the classical set, right? So now we'll try to see the what is the fuzzy answer. What is the fuzzy answer? Very important part is fuzzy answer. So I'm a layman person. I will say, yeah, it is a perfect red. Perfect red. That is answer. That is fuzzy answer. We can abbreviate it as PR. We can say that, yeah, absolute red. And another person can say that, yeah, slightly red. Right? And last one is say not red. Right? Initially, we have two options. In case of classical set is 1 or 0. But in case of fuzzy set, we have many answers. It may be more than 4 also. So it may be the perfect red. It may be the uh, 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 some bit below than perfect red. Then we can say the absolute red, slightly red, and at last we can say no red. Right? So these possible answers in real life application, in real life, we will get such type of answer. That's why the fuzzy set becomes very important in case of real application. In classical set, we have two options. Suppose any vehicle is suppose two vehicle is moving, right? And we want to apply a brake on that particular vehicle, because this is suppose both the vehicle are autonomous or this vehicle are autonomous, and we are applying the control action to stop uh, the vehicle with help of this particular classical set theory. So what will happen if the car is nearer to another car, then they apply the brake. Option is yes. If car is far, then they may not apply the brake. The two options they have. But in real application, if it is closer, then slight brake we can apply. If it is very closer, then we can full brake we can apply. Like that, we have we have a many answers, right? So in real applications, we are having such type of. Suppose I'm taking another one, one more example. From there, you can easily understand. Suppose a liquid is given to us, that is milk, water, Coca-Cola, and Sprite is given to us, right? And this is a liquid, you know that. And answer is that anyone asking, it is crisp or classical, anything we can say that, right? Okay, so anyone is asking that, is this liquid is colorless? Is the liquid is colorless? Right? So what answer we have in case of classical set? Yes or no. Two options we have, right? And if we talk about fuzzy answer, which is actually the real answer, right? So we can say that maybe it is colorless, may not be, and absolute, right, are partially colorless. And similarly, we have another answers, right? So this is the, in this way we can define the major difference, right? Like that we have. Similarly, suppose if any person is standing there and we are asking about, suppose the one person is here, and is this person is honest or not? Anyone ask? Then in this we have honest or not dishonest. Two options we have, right? But in case of fuzzy, we can say that it is extremely honest, right? We can say that it is extremely fuzzy answer. The fuzzy answer will be extremely honest, very honest, honest at time, or extremely dishonest. So this is again a very introductory part. What is the major differences between the fuzzy logic and crisp logic? We can say that, right? So in fuzzy answer, we have all the options available in the the real answers we have. In case of classical set or crisp set, we have kind of that 1-0 kind of answer, yes or true or false, yes or no kind of answer we have, right? So I can take one more example so that you people become, just a second. Uh, the last example for this series, so that if anyone is not properly understood, they can understand, right? Suppose anyone is asking that it is related to our technical university. Suppose a set of technical university having at least five departments. A set of university which are having 5 departments. So it is very easy. We can easily make a set where university having at least five departments. If anyone asking that, five good department, right? Set of technical university having at least five good departments. Good is adjective we are providing forcefully to that particular statement, right? So good department, it means for the one person, that particular university having a five good department. For another person, it may not be, right? So this is your actual boundary, and we are giving a fuzzy boundary. And this is total set of total universe of discourse. I can say that total set. So it means this answer, this fuzzy answer is, it will vary for person to person. There is no well-defined boundary for particular set, and it means the set is having imprecise or vague boundary. That boundary is not defined because we are, if it is asking simple answer, then the boundary is defined. If anyone asking that it is the university having the five good department, in that case that answer will change as per the person to person, right? So this is the things which related to fuzzy and case logic. I hope you will correlate with things, right? Now we'll move on to some things related to the fuzzy logic structure. So before going to fuzzy logic structure, I can just a bit. Now I will try to take a one robotic applications, right? Sorry. Okay. So where you can easily correlate things with right. So if we, I know, I don't know you people familiar with the robotic dynamic modeling or not. So all the robotic system, I can say that it has some mathematical expression, right? So just now we seen about the control part, right? And the basic thing is fuzzy we have considered, and here we are applying some robotic things. That can be robotic arm, that can be robot manipulator, that can be the mobile robot, anything, right? So this is your feedback kind of system, right? And here we are applying the reference input, that, right? And this is your minus. So here we are getting error signal, and that error signal is fed to the control system. According to that particular error, that control will take action, and that action will feed in the robot. Actually robot contain the motor also, motors. So we are applying the control action to motor, and motor will generate the torque. Suppose this is I am taking one simple example of robot manipulator. This is your 2DF robot. Okay, so this robot having suppose this is this link having length L1, this is L2, and that is theta1 and theta2, that is angle. So we are giving that angle so that that particular tip move, right? So this whole equation, this whole structure has some dynamic modeling, and that dynamic modeling is known as a dynamic of manipulator, and that was again a huge literature on it. So I'm directly writing the mathematical expression for that particular things, right? With help of Lagrange function, with help of Euler Lagrange, right? We are getting one mathematical expression that is given by MQ Q double dot V Q Q dot What is that? GQ. I hope this equation will be covered in coming lecture, or maybe right. So this is the mathematical expression of robotic kind of system. This is not a generalized one. It may have some more component also. But uh, it is, I can say that it is for one of the robot manipulator. But most of the structure having, most of the robot application having such type of mathematical expression, right? So this expression is known as a inertia matrix, and V is known as a the V is known as a correlative force vector, right? And that is Q dot, Q double dot, right? These are the component of position vector, yeah, or we can say that that particular theta one, theta two, okay. And this is a one derivative, second derivative kind of things. G is the gravitational force, right? And F is the frictional force. So again, this is a mathematical expression for the any robotic application. Okay. So okay. So this mathematical expression, what we are doing, this mathematical expression, we are writing the code. We can that particular if we have mathematical expression, we can write a code and simulate in MATLAB. That right. So in my research work, I have done, I have taken the help of Simulink as well as the MATLAB code. Try to in order to implement this. So you know that if you are a simple electronics engineer, if you are a mechanical engineer, you know that robot have a robot or any plant, right? Any plant having some transfer function, and we are controlling that particular transfer function. So in that in that case, we are having this particular transfer function, we can say that. Not exactly transfer function, that is dynamic modeling of any of robot application. Okay. So what we are doing here, we are applying the tau. That is, this is your torque, right? This torque is generated by motor. We are applying the control action to motor, and motor is generating the torque, and that torque is you know that that torque is applying to this particular arm, and then it will move, right? So and right. So this is the mathematical equation. So how to manipulate it and how to implement in MATLAB, we'll try to see with one, right? So just a second. So here you can say that, see that this is the, right, oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. So this is your 2D of robot manipulator, right? And here you can see that this manipulator having, you can see that is theta 1 and theta 2, the angle, right? This angle is taken from the x-axis, this angle is taken from this axis. This is the concept, right? And here you can see that this is LC1, that is the distance between mid to the here. That is length of the link L1 and L2. Here you can see the two links we have, link 1 and link 2. And this type of manipulator is used for pick and place type of operation. Means suppose any industrial application will require only to pick that particular object and place somewhere, and that is iterative process, right? All the time the manipulator has to do the same task. In that type of applications, we require a same trajectory, trajectory. Means the whatever the theta 1 theta 2 means, if we are changing theta 1 and theta 2, right, we can obtain the trajectory of that particular manipulator T by the by the help of mathematical expression that is known as kinematic of manipulators, right? So if we are changing the theta 1, theta 2, we will obtain the moment in this particular tip. Suppose we are changing theta 1 by like that, and again we are changing theta 2. This is theta 1 movement, this is theta 2 movement. Then that tip movement may be some kind like that. It depends upon the mathematical things we will see in our coming slides, right? What kind of structure we can have. And if anyone has any doubt regarding it, they can ask any point of time, right? So everyone are welcome for asking any questions. Okay. So here you can see that we are applying the tau 1 and tau 2. It means we require 2 torque for controlling 2 links. If it is 3 link, then we require 3 torque. It means we require one motor here in order to move this particular link. And suppose if it is robotic arm, means here we have finger also, right? Sorry. If we are having the finger, right, also, then we can require again a different kind of motor, right? So in order to make it simple, we are implemented our control technique for that particular plant one, right? And that can be extended for the that particular the topic of that particular workshop, right? So this is a basic thing. We can extend it to the our rehabilitation kind of thing. Okay. So what we are doing, we are giving the predefined trajectory of theta 1 and theta 2, and we are controlling it. This is our target only. Okay. And this was taken from the one of the paper of mine, which was published in 2019 in ISA transaction in Elsevier. These are the parameters. So we have considered the mass link is for both the link we have considered 1 For the length of link we have considered 1 and lengthwise centroid of link. So we must know the centroid of that particular link. So here we have considered 0.2 and 0.2, and you know that everyone has a coefficient of viscous friction. So viscous friction, so we have considered around 0.1, 0.2, 0.1, and coefficient of dynamic friction. Two type of friction we are considering here: the coefficient of viscous and dynamic friction. And you know that gravity is like that, and the distance between joint of link to center of gravity, that is that distance. Center of gravity, what is the distance between the link to the center of gravity? It is considered around 0.5 because the length is 1. So we are considering in between of that the link we are having the center of gravity, COG, right? And in that particular case, the payload may be the the payload is not attached with this particular link L1, it is attached with this one. So that's why in that particular case it is 0.5 kg we have considered, right? So and actually here we are not considering the actuator modeling. Actuator means motor modeling. We are considering that whatever the torque we are giving to the motor, that motor is the control action which we are giving the motor, that motor is generating the torque, and that torque is applying to the link, and link is moving as per the predefined trajectory, right? So for that particular this particular structure, we are having the dynamic modeling like that, right? So dynamic modeling is given like that. Here you can see that in just now I explained about the things related to the dynamic modeling. So the dynamic, my general equation is m q double dot. This is the expression. Next expression is V Q Q dot and multiplied by Q dot. Next one is G, that is G of Q, and F, that is frictional force. And here the frictional force consists of this one and this one. The first one is, you know that the V1 is viscous friction due to the viscous, and second one is dynamic friction. So this is a viscous friction, this is a dynamic friction, and this is your overall, sorry, this is tau. What is tau? Torque applied at a link, and that torque was generated by the motor. You know that motor is circular kind of thing, so the motor will generate the torque, and you know, we are applying the control action to the motor, right? And that motor is generating the. So if we are going for the real application, for hardware application, so we must consider the motor transfer function also. If whatever the motor transfer function, you know that motor is generating the torque as per the input voltage. Whatever the voltage we are applying to the motor, that motor will generate the torque, and that torque will appear in the link, right? So this is the mathematical modeling of the manipulator, right? And very important part is that how to implement it in MATLAB for the simulation purpose. If we obtain the simulation result properly, then we can transfer it to the real hardware, right? So, and what are the values of M1? These M1 and B, and that your G, and that. So these values are given like that. M1 M and 11 is given by in terms of inertia, the mass, the length from the center of gravity, right? So similarly, we can append M2, and here M2 is equal to M12. So these are the mathematical expression, and if you know if for the given 2D, it can be calculated by yourself, by us, or we can directly take it from the available literature. So in that particular case, I have taken this from the one of the literature, from the one of the good book, right? But actually, this is available in our research article, so no need to cite it, right? And here you can see that C1. What is C1? C1 is the cos theta 1. What is cos theta 1? Cos theta, this is your theta 1. So this is your theta 2, right? So cos theta 1 is that particular things they are talking about. C2 is cos theta 2. Similarly, S1 and S2 is represented by sin theta 1 and sin theta 2 in that particular mathematical expression. And C12 is cos theta 1 plus cos theta 2. Okay, so this is the mathematical expression, and that was derived with help of, I can say that, by the one of the famous technique that is known as a Lagrange function, and as well as with the Euler-Lagrangian equations. From this way, we can easily calculate this particular mathematical expression, and that expression is known as dynamic of the work manipulator. Okay, so now we will see how to we can say implement in MATLAB this particular, right? So you know, this is your mathematical expression, M Q dot, right? V Q dot, just a second. So okay, it is already working. Okay, so I will show how to do things in MATLAB with first I will try to explain how to transfer, means the mathematical, this particular mathematical expression in our so this is our mathematical, I can write here itself. Okay, sorry. Okay, so you know q, what is q? Q is the combination of theta 1 and theta 2, because here we are talking about the revolute joint, that joint is revolute. Two type of joints are available in the manipulator. One is revolute and another is prismatic. Prismatic means such type of movement. When we are having such the such type of movement means, suppose I can show you. Okay, suppose one of the link is moving just upward to the another link, so it can move like that, na? It can move, it can go like that and come like that. It means uh, right. So this joint is known as a prismatic joint. If we are having revolute, right, means the circular kind of motion, then it is known as a revolute joint, right? So here the both this these links are this link and this link are revolute kind of, so it can move in revolute motion. And the prismatic we will see in our coming slides. Okay, and so okay. So now I will try to explain how to implement this equation in MATLAB, right? So our aim is to find out the Q output, right? So this is your robot manipulator, right? Robotic arm, and it is taking as input. Input is tau. Input is tau 1 and tau 2. No, sorry. This is when we are applying the torque, then it will move. When we are then tau 1, tau 2, when we are applying both the tasks simultaneously or as per the requirement, then theta 1 and theta 2 will move. It means the tau 1 and tau 2 are input. Most of the time people got confused with this thing. So that's why I'm writing, because this is output. So this is your input in case of robot. And what is output? That is Q1 and Q2. What is Q1? That is theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, so when we are applying the torque to the robot, then we can obtain the angular movement, that is theta 1 and theta 2. Great. So okay, so it means we have to write this equation theta 1 and theta 2 as a output. This is your output, this is your input. So we have to rearrange this particular equation in such a form so that the theta 1 theta 2 should be output and q1 and tau 1 and tau 2 as a input. So what we can do, so the m q dot q is the combination of theta 1 and theta 2 will be equal to tau minus g plus gq plus, sorry, that is minus f. G is the gravitational, f is the friction, and v is the Coriolis vector. Okay, that is Coriolis force vector, it is known as. Okay, so now we want q double dot, right? Or we can say that we obtain q. Q is output, you know, q1 and q2 is output, theta 1 theta 2. So we are interested in q double dot. So this will be equal to tau and v, the same expression. Okay, divide by 1 upon q. And you know that all are in matrix form, so we have to follow the matrix multiplication, etc. Right? So this is v in matrix, g in matrix, q also matrix, right? That is theta 1 theta 2, and m is also in a matrix form, this particular m. Okay, so and this is q. Now we require q only, so we have to pass this equation to one of the integrator. Then q double dot becomes q. q dot. Again, we will pass one more integrator. Then we will obtain the q. So it means we have to implement, or we have to, we can say that model this particular mathematical expression in MATLAB with help of embedded function as well as Simulink. Okay, so for drawing from scratch is difficult for us. So I will I can show you directly from my research work, right? So here you can see that in this particular uh, model, that is a 2D of modeling for that particular plant only. Okay. Okay. So here you can see that this is MCGFP. This is the right terms we use here. And okay, just a wait. So here you can see here we require tau minus VQ Q dot GQ means 1, 2, 3 like that, and divide by MQ. So I will start from here. You can see that this is the multiplication. So we are matrix multiplication. We are multiplying it with M by making it inverse. That term I am talking 1 upon MQ. 1 upon M is multiplying with that particular expression. Okay. So here you can see that this is M. We are making it inverse and multiplying with this final task. This is final output, right? That particular this this whole expression is multiplied with 1 upon M. So I am starting from this location so that you people, if anyone want to start work from scratch to implement in MATLAB and try to control it, they can easily do by this particular lecture, right? So here you can see this is a multiplication kind of things. So we are applying matrix multiplication, and that block is available in MATLAB. I'm not going in detail about MATLAB. I hope and I thought that all the participants are familiar with the MATLAB. They can easily do things related to MATLAB, right? If not, you can go through the MATLAB and try to learn, right? Next one is, this is your the Q1. You know that we are having Q1, Q2. So Q1 is theta 1, theta 2, QD1, QD2 means QD1, D2 means one derivative. So we cannot write a Q dot here in MATLAB. So we have given the symbol QD1, it means first derivative. QD2 means the theta 1 dot, theta 2 dot, right? So, okay. And if we are clicking once on manipulator, this is an embedded kind of MATLAB block. So here you can see that all the code related to it is written here. So here you can see that the mass of link, because both the mass are equal, so we have considered M only. Here you can see that the M1, M2 are equal, L1, L2 are equal, I1, I2 are equal. Everyone is, you can see all the things. The link 1 and link 2 are exactly same. Okay, so that's why in this particular case we have considered M is 1, G, L, L, C, I, inertia, V, and P. V is a viscous coefficient of viscous friction, and D is the dynamic friction. Okay, and actually the manipulator tip, suppose we are interested in pick and place operation, and the mass of the which we interested to take and put, right, that are changing with time. That may be the different for all the cases, may be the same for cases. So here we are considering the mass of the manipulator tip is changing with time. So that's why we have written that particular code. And this again M11, M22, right? All these mathematical expression is written as per this particular mathematical formula. This is this particular mathematical formula M11, M11, M12, M21, and M22, right? So we have written all those formula in MATLAB, right? Similarly, the B, the C1, C2, that is coefficient of friction, and similarly G1, G2, and everything is written F and P, and that is fed back to the function. So we are getting M, C, sorry, just a second. Just a second. Okay, so okay, so this F, P, G, C value are returned through that, right? And here you can see that this return value are obtained at output of that particular manipulator output, and that is MCP, MCG, FP, whatever name we have given here that are appearing at output, and that is applied to the adder block. You know that the addition we are doing, where it is, yeah. So here you can see that this is tau minus, this is one kind of addition subtraction, but we have to use the addition block, and so here we are doing the addition kind of thing. So here you can see that plus tau, this t is taken as a plus and rest of is taken as a subtraction. So here you can see that all are negative and it is multiplied with this particular applied to that particular matrix multiplication block. So this is your overall manipulator, right? And okay, so in this way we can do the things related to the MATLAB. So here we obtain the robot arm, robot manipulator, we can write robot manipulator, right? And here we are applying the torque as input, and we are getting the output as theta1, theta2. Here we are applying the tau1 and tau2. So right, and this thing we have seen in our simulation block also. Now what we are doing, we have to apply the control action, right? And that control action will generate. So here we have to take the two different control. What does mean? Mean if we are zooming that particular block, so we have to control tau1 and tau2 separately, right? So again, different type of control techniques are available. One technique is known as coupling technique, where we are taking both the consideration. Another technique is the individual one. We can apply just suppose we are applying the PID here, the one PID, and this is another PID, right? And we are applying individually, means separately, to control tau1 and tau2, and that is applied to the robotic, that is robot dynamic or robot dynamics, and we are obtaining theta1 and theta2, right? And this is error signal. So here we are applying error, that is different error. And this is your reference, okay? गर्म पानी ले आइए, and this is applied here, right, separately, right? So this is theta1 and theta2. Here we are again applying the desired theta d1. We can write desired theta1. Here we can write desired theta d2, and obtain which is actual movement is this one, and we are applying this trajectory. So suppose we have given sinusoidal type of trajectory for first one. Again, we have given another sinusoidal, or we can say that some another trajectory, right? So this is your desired trajectory, theta d1, and this is your theta d2, and we are obtaining the output, and that output must be uh, following this particular desired trajectory. If it is not following, right, suppose it is lagging some bit lagging, right, something is it is not following, then we will get the error, right, because we are subtracting this both the things, right? This is subtraction, right? So theta 1 is, we will get error that is equal to theta d1 minus theta 1. This is desired trajectory which we want, and theta 1 is obtained trajectory at the output of the plant, output of the robot manipulator, right? And similarly we can get the error E2 also. Okay, and that error is fed to this particular control technique, right? And this control technique will generate the control action separately, right? Control action separately, and that control action is fed to the motor, because here we skipped the motor part, right? And that motor will generate the torque, and the torque is applied to the link, and link at that and link will move, and link is following that whatever the desired trajectory we have. This is the overall structure of any manipulator, any robot dynamic, any mobile robot. If we are going through this way, we have to follow these procedures, right? So if it is 3 DOFs, then again we require third controller, right? So right here you can see that, so this is your controller. Here we have taken two individual controllers, right? Here you can see that this is your PID and this is your another PID, and everyone has different parameters, KP1, KD1, like that. You know that if you are familiar with PID, you can understand what is that. So proportional, derivative, integral are added parallelly in order to get the PID, right? So here you can see that these sorry, these control techniques applied to the plant. That plant is robot manipulator, right? Right? And what is the desired trajectory? So in that case, we have taken few, again, we have generated our trajectory with help of some, I can say that, in that case, we have taken one cubical polynomial type of trajectory in order to obtain, and these trajectories are defined like that, right? So this is not a big concern about trajectory. You can take any kind of trajectory, right? So here we have taken some special kind of trajectory so that our manipulator will, or we can say that our control will give the, or we can say that justification of control design is approved by such type of trajectory. If we are taking the simplest trajectory, then we cannot justify our answer. But that's why we have taken some complex trajectory, right? And here you can say that, so this is all about the, I can say, the implementation part of the robot manipulator in MATLAB. Okay, so now if anyone has doubt related to this particular things, they can ask. Otherwise, I move on to the next portion of my section. Okay, so I hope there are no doubts. So we are moving to the next section of our presentation. Part 2. Okay. So now we will try to understand things related to. Okay. So in first hour, I tried to discuss about the basic things related to fuzzy, and if we know the mathematical model of any robot model, we can easily implement in MATLAB with help of Simulink or with help of code also. If you are not interested in simulation kind of things, means the Simulink environment, then you can easily go through the MATLAB code, that is with M file also. But because the simulation is interactive kind of thing, we can easily see the simulation and visualize the things. That's why we are using the simulation kind of things, right? Here you can see that I saw in my PPT how the simulation and how the things are working. Okay. Now I will again discuss few more things and then try to explore the research article which I propose and which is available in the journals, right? So I just discussed about the conventional PID controller, that is known as a conventional control theory. PID, PI, the tuning of PID can be done through the Ziegler-Nichols methods and etc. Right? So however, in 95 or more than 90% in industrial application, most right now also the people are using the conventional control theory only. However, we have a more advanced control structure, but they are not relying on it. I don't know why, but because maybe the computational complexity, because we are, as a research point of view, we are giving the new techniques, but that technique may not be implemented right now, but it may be implemented in future when we are having one of the fastest computational things, right, with the help of quantum theory and etc. When we are having fastest computational things, then whatever we are proposing right now today, right, scenario, it may be easily implemented in future, because the fuzzy and right now I am working on type 2 fuzzy. It took a lot of time while simulating. It took around 5 to 10 minutes to simulate one simple program, one simple simulation, right? So implementing in real time, it is very difficult, because if you are taking such a long time to implement in real time, real application, then the system may fail, right? So, but but in future, when we are having a faster computational kind of thing, then it will be easily done, right? So the fuzzy and soft computing on the neural network etc. comes under the intelligent control technique. If we are applying that soft computing technique in control application, then it is known as a intelligent control, right? And when the conventional control theory, when the plant parameters are changing, when robot parameters are changing, when the non-linear kind of plant, when we are having delay in the system, in that cases, conventional control theories are failed, right? So that's why intelligent control theories comes in the picture. And and here we are covering the fuzzy kind of intelligent control, right? So here And here also we will try to explore the fractional order control theory, right? And that robot manipulator kind of things we also try to cover, right? So first I will try to explain about the type 2 fuzzy. What is the type 2 fuzzy? Okay, so later on we will cover as per time permit. Okay, uh, first we will try to okay. First we will try to understand the fractional order system. What is the fractional order system? Fractional order calculus is an area where the mathematician deal with derivative integral of non-integer. What does it mean? I can explain you. Suppose अभी तक you have seen about like that dt d by dt q simple d by dt 1 1, right? Such type of application you have seen in your uh, literatures. I can say that in your 10 12 or btech classes. But one of the new new fractional order approach are proposed around 1999 by the Paddle Bunny. This is the first, not the first, we can say that effective research paper that is proposed around the 1990 by they talk about the fractional means di by dt has power 1 by 2 fractional power. The power is now fractional, right? So there are different definitions. So in order to implement this in mathematics, different type of definitions are given in the literature, and that definitions are Grunwald, Latinko, that is GL techniques, and Cauchy integral formula, Caputo definitions, Riemann Liouville definitions, RL techniques. The pronunciation is very difficult, right? And Ostub approximation. So these are the different type of approximation definitions are available in the literature in order to implement this. Similarly, integration part, we are doing first integration, double integration, triple integration, but we are not doing integration by 1 by 2, means half integration, right? That type of things we are not doing. That is possible by with help of fractional calculus theory, right? So in our uh, research work, we are using this approximation technique. That is one kind of IIR, the infinite impulse response. If you know that, that is the one kind of approximation technique we are using in our papers for implementing fractional order system. And here we have taken sorry. So here the first research article on the PID. So PID. So P is a proportional integrator. Integrator is having lambda and derivative is having mu. What is lambda and mu? Lambda and mu is the power of integrator and derivative, and that is varying between 0 to 2. But in our applications, we are generally using it in between 0 to 1. Above 1, we can simply 1 plus, we can do like that. So we will get in between 1 to 2. So it will carry from 0 to 1 plus 1 to 2. Okay, so this is not our concern. Our concern is that what is the lambda and mu? Lambda and mu is the power of integrator. Means now if lambda is around 0.5, 0.6, or anything it in between 0 to 1, right? So now we are giving what extra dimension to the derivative and integral part, and that is known as a fractional order system, right? So here you can see that lambda and mu. this is lambda is power of integrator and mu is the power of derivative. So if both are zero, then PID. So both are zero, it means it is become P type of control, the proportional controller. If mu is 1 and I is 0, then it becomes PD, right? PD. If lambda is 1, then P I power 1 D power 0. So then it becomes PI type of controller. And if we are having both the value 1 1, then it is PID. This is the generalized one which in our we can say that till now we are working on such type of control technique. But uh, but when lambda in mu is varying between 0 to 1, so now we are having space between this. The color portion is now the new region where we can work, and this is the extra dimensional, means PID become new type of PID and extra dimension with we are providing with flexible, means initially we have 4 point only, but now we are having whole this upper left and right this particular region, and this is known as a fractional order PID controller in our. So so uh, uh, right, so fractional order PID controller was proposed by Padalbani in around 1999. So in our research, I was thought that why not go for the fractional order for fuzzy logic also, right? And right, so all of the in my PhD work, most of the time I implemented fractional order on the fuzzy, and very easily we got the paper on it because this is a new one. No one has very less work is reported at that time. Nowadays a lot of people are working in this area, but when I was started, it was a new one, I can say that, right? Okay, so the because of this, it provides extra degree of freedom for not only for design control application but also the designing fractional order integral differential gain, means initially we have to tune the kp, kd and ki value, three parameter only. Now we can tune lambda and mu also. It means now we have two extra parameter in our to tune, right? So this is the advantage. If the number of parameters is high, the chances of getting optimal solution is high. And this is the Auslu recursive approximation method, right? These are the procedure and these are the things, right? So this is a totally mathematical things we have taken from this paper, where all the things related to the OSLOOP are implemented, and this is one of the IIR kind of filter, right? So I'm not going to detail on this. Uh, uh, you can easily find this thing in literature. Now I will try to explain one of our paper which was reported around 2018 or 17, right? So here what I implemented is that we have designed one of the new sectional order fuzzy pre-compensated FOPID controller for 2DOF robot manipulator. Means initially in literature the fuzzy pre-compensated PID controller are available. Fuzzy pre-compensated, these are available, right? As Amit sir has talked about myself, he told that I am mainly the controller part, right? So my work is to give the new control techniques in order to give the proper and accurate result for the any manipulator or any kind of plant. But here we have implemented for the 2DF, which I discussed just now, right? So these things are available in literature, and we have added fractional things on this particular literature, and we got the one article from this, right? And this is not implemented for robot also. So why, as a control engineer, why we are working on the robotic kind of things, for checking our control techniques is that the robots are multi-input, multi-output. Means tau 1, tau 2, the two torques and two out theta 1, theta. So it means it is one kind of multi-input, multi-output, non-linear, and non-linear and highly complex system.
All ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಯಮ್ಮ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಯ್ತಾ ಕಾಲ್ ಇದೆಯಾ புரியல
Okay, so robot is multi-input, multi-output, non-linear, and complex kind of system, right? Very complex system compared to the simple transfer function. So if we are testing our control techniques on that particular applications, then we can justify that our controller is better than the available existing things, right? So again, we have considered one of the 2D robot manipulator, and this is not exactly the same which I discussed the first hour. Here we have not taken the manipulator tip, means the load on the manipulator tip is not known to us, and again the length is also different, right? And the mass is also different, and this is a 2D, but things are not exactly same which I have discussed in first hour, right? And here you can see that tau 1 and tau 2, the torque is generated and which is given by this particular equation. Okay. Okay. So here we have taken fuzzy pre-compensated thing. So first we have implemented fractional order PID, and we have added pre-compensator, fuzzy pre-compensator prior to the FOPID, in order to suppose any fluctuation is coming, any unwanted sensor noise. Here the feedback is having sensor, some sensors noise fluctuation is coming, some, right? Any overshoot, suppose some overshoot is coming, kind of things that pre-compensator may handle, because it is applied just before. So the fuzzy logic is also non-linear kind of things, right? So this is 2 input fuzzy, and it is applied prior to the PID, which is now FOPID, that is fractional order PID, right? And this is your fractional order fuzzy pre-compensated PID. Okay, so and here this is torque, and we are obtaining the theta 1 and theta 2. This in first hour we have seen how to implement in MATLAB and etc., right? So any overshoot, undershoot is coming, right? That can be controlled by this particular pre-compensator. This is the advantage of pre-compensator, and we are applying fractional order on it. So now because of fractional order we have we are getting one extra degree of freedom in terms of order of the derivative and fractional on the integrator part, right? So this pre-compensator are having fuzzy, that is non-linear fuzzy, as well as fractional term, and similarly PID is having fractional order terms also, right? So and these control techniques are applied to the robot, and we have taken sorry okay, so now we will see how the things are working here. So error is the error is difference between desire and the obtained output, that is error signal. Okay, and what is the UIT? UIT is the combination of KU, that is multiplied scaling gain in fuzzy, and this is fuzzy. Fuzzy has a input, two input, this input and this input. This input is given like that. Okay, that UIT is applied to again FOPID with this particular UI plus theta desired. So we have taken theta desired also here also, and this is known as a theta pre-I, means that is that theta is obtained from the pre-compensator, and that is applied to the again with the again we are differentiating it is subtracted from the original obtained control output, and that is error dot. New error dot is applied to the this particular PID, and we are obtaining tau, and that tau is fed back to the robot manipulator. And rest of things I covered in the first hour, that how to if we are applying the tau, how we will get the theta 1 and theta 2. So this is the pictorial representation of both the control techniques, right? So this is first controller. If we say that this is the first controller, this is second controller, and individually both the control techniques are working, all right, for the both the controller are not linked to each other, I can say that, right? So right now we are working on the coupling type of controller, means we have sent one paper on it in one of the IEEE journal, where we are working on the coupling kind of things. The coupling means any when two links are working, they can couple, means they may affect one link may affect the another link also. That is known as a coupling effect, right? So this is the simplest one, I can say that, right? So coupling effect may be possible, but here we are not considering it. Here we are considering that both the links are not affecting each other while working, right? So here you can see that this is a controller, first controller, which is combination of pre-compensator and PID, and this is again another one, and we have another two different trajectory and apply to the plan. Accordingly it is working, right? And these are the membership function of fuzzy and the illustration of the surface plot of the membership function, right? So here we have considered some triangular type of membership function. Why we are considering triangular? Because it is simplest one, and implementation in MATLAB is easier. And important point is that it is linear one. Linear means this line is linear. We can also take Gaussian also, right? In few papers we have considered about the Gaussian things also, right? So here we have considered and people most of the time people used to ask me why are you taking the triangular one only or Gaussian one, right? So exactly if means as a research point of view, I can say that it does not affect too much, right? Yeah, but if we talk about the literature point of view, means why we are using like that. So we can say that this is linear one, and implementation part is easier in hardware. When we are going in hardware, then implementing this type of triangle membership function is very easy, right? So yeah, so these are the answers for the triangular and kind of things, right? And this is a PID one. When we are implementing any new control techniques, we have to compare it with conventional counterpart, right? For that, we have taken PID, that is simple PID, and then another one is fuzzy PID. This is your fuzzy, right? Two input fuzzy kind of controllers. So in this particular applications, we have considered PID, fuzzy PID, and then we can say that integer order, fractional order, pre-compensated PID, and fractional order pre-compensated FOPID. So we have considered around four different control techniques, right? And this is a fuzzy logic control structure. When we are working on the fuzzy logic, so this is a famous control structure. This is a scaling input variable scaling, and this is output variable scaling. This scaling is used for making the physical quantity into the crisp value, means Suppose we are working on such type of problem where physical quantities large are very low, right? So we are up, in case of low, we can multiply it and make it in that particular range, right? Suppose this is your number C function, it is lying between -1 to 1, so we have to make it in between that range only. That can be possible by this scaling parameter. Similarly, whatever you have done here, you have to do again in output scaling in order to get back in the physical quantity, right? So, and these are the fuzzy things, right? So whatever the crisp value we are obtaining, crisp value means fixed value around 0. 0.1, 0. 0.2 kind of thing, 0.1, right? So this 0.1 is converted in fuzzy value by the fuzzification, you know, right? Fuzzification process. And if we obtain the fuzzy value, that fuzzy value with help of rule base, whatever the rule base, in that particular case we have considered such rule base, right? So with help of rule base we can obtain the fuzzy inference system, and that inference system will generate a fire rule, right? And that rule will be applied in the defuzzification process, right? And you know the defuzzification process is consist of center of gravity, various defuzzification is available in literature, right? Like center of gravity, different type of things are available in the literature. Okay, so after defuzzification, we are obtaining the crisp value, and that is output of the fuzzy logic, right? And that crisp value is again multiplied with output scaling factor in order to obtain the physical quantity in terms of physical, right? And this is things related to fuzzy logic, I can say. All right. So detailed explanation, if you are interested in about the fuzzy logic, right? So if you are interested in fuzzy logic from scratch to, I can say from the top value, top things, right? I would suggest you can go on IIIT Kota YouTube channels. We have done one FDP on it. That is fuzzy type 1 and type 2 fuzzy logic and its application, right? So there you can learn from many things related to fuzzy logic, right? So in 5 days we have covered many things. So if you are interested, you can go and learn from our YouTube channels, right? And you know, whenever we are working on the control designing, very challenging part is that how to tune the parameters of any control techniques, right? These are the challenge we are observing while working in the controller part, right? So in case of PID, you know, in case of PID, we are having two individual link to control, right? So we require two PID controller, two PID or two motor, right? So these motor are going to control. So this PID is going to control the particular motor, and that motor will rotate, and your manipulator tip or manipulator arm is going to move. Similarly, uh, your desired sorry, so right. So these are the things we have to tune it. So one process is that we can tune by the conventional process, that is Ziegler-Nichols, and different type of Cohen-Ku, different type of approaches are available. Another approach is that heat and trial process. Heat and trial process means first tune KP, then KD, then KI, and then make the overall performance, right? But in our cases, because you know here you can see that in case of fuzzy PID, we are having 8 variable. In case of integer order fuzzy pre-compensated PID, we are having 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, around 12 parameters. And in case of the proposed control technique, we are having around 15 different uh, variables which has to be tuned while working, right? So tuning of this controller, tuning of this parameter is also one of the challenge, and that challenge is again solved by the soft computing technique, and that is evolutionary computing, right? which I have discussed in first 15 minutes, right? Evolutionary computing can help us to find out the, so for that particular case we have used genetic algorithm and ABC, the combination of genetic and ABC. We have implemented GA-ABC, right? So GA is another optimization technique, ABC is another optimization technique. So hybridized technique, we have made one hybridized technique, and that hybridized technique is used for implement used for uh, obtaining this uh, parameter, right? Because uh, the number of control parameters is 15, which is not possible through heat and trial or any process. Very difficult, right? Here, if we are having three is possible, four is also possible, but if we are having five, right? So it is very difficult to tune such type of parameters. That's why we are going for evolutionary computing technique, and you may use PSO, particle swarm optimization, GWO also, Gray-Wolf optimization. Various optimization techniques are available in literature, and on the daily basis, I can say that, and daily basis, different new optimization technique we are obtaining in the literature, right? And and if actually our in this particular paper, we are our interest is not to propose new optimization technique. Our interest is to give the new control technique, right? So that's why we are our focus is on the that part only. And here we have considered the test trajectory, means that is cubical polynomial in nature. We have considered the word test trajectory that is in polynomial in nature, right? And this the trajectory is given by this three, the cubic polynomial nature, and we have given some predefined things, and accordingly we will get some trajectory. We will see, right? This is our trajectory. So we have considered two trajectory, which is starting from 0 and ending at around time is 4 and it is around 5, right? It is ending around 5. Another one is ending at around 0.5. So another trajectory is like that. So again, this is a cubical polynomial trajectory, and here you can see that it is uh, the few things are given, like at what we can say, right? Just a wait. Okay. So at 2 second and 4 second, we have given the theta desired value. Accordingly, we can get this particular trajectory, right? So this trajectory, right? Okay. So this particular problem is simulated for I can say that 4 second, and we can say that the trajectory is one kind of cubical polynomial. You can take your trajectory as per your as per your wish, but here we have considered this trajectory. And when we are considering this trajectory, this is your theta 1, suppose this is your theta 2, right? So if theta 1 is theta 2, this is your robotic manipulator, right? 2 arm, I can say that 2D of theta 1, theta 2. If theta 1 and theta 2 is changing like that, this is theta 1 and this is your theta 2, is changing like that, then your manipulator tip, this particular tip in x and y coordinate will be moved like that. Means it is moving like this particular structure, right? So the A trajectory tracking performance, it means here we have applied, this is your reference trajectory, and we have applied our controller, the past controller, the fuzzy PID and PID. So we have implemented around 4 different control techniques in order to compare our 4, right? Total technique is 4, and this is our controller, which we have reported out 2070, right? So it is found that our when we actually you can see that it is very closer, right? So we have zoomed it with zoom function, or you can do as per your knowledge, right? So our technique is more closer. It is not visible here. So for that reason we have considered the performance criteria, that is integral absolute error, integral time absolute error, different type of performance criteria available in literature. Here we have considered this particular performance, time absolute error, that is time absolute error. It is known as a time absolute error, right? So next one is the XY coordinate with time. Means what is the variation of X and Y coordinate of that particular tip with time, and that is control output. What kind of controller output we required while working, right? So these are here you can see that error. So here the error is lowest for this our technique. Means here you can see that, and you know whenever the highest error when we are applying at control output, right? Accordingly, here you can see that that proposed techniques are right. Okay, so this is the plot for position error for different controllers, and right. So here you can see that for link 1, the error is maximum for PID, that is PID, and minimum for our techniques, that is section order fuzzy pre-compensated FOPID controller, right? Similarly for the link 2 also. So this is a comparison of performance index. This is integral time absolute error we have considered. These values are in ITAE only for the different control approaches, and we found that our control approaches are giving minimum integral time absolute error. That is one of the I can say that findings from this work, right? Another one is, you know, I told you that the robustness testing, right? When as time passes, the manipulator mass, maybe the length, maybe the spring, that may change, right? That is known as a model uncertainty. Model may change their parameter as time passes, due to the atmospheric condition, due to the temperature condition, anything, right? So in order to check the robustness analysis by I can say that model uncertainty, we have forcefully changed the mass of the link, length of the link, right, in order to check the robustness, right? So we have changes around 0.5%, sorry, 5%. Means we have increased once and decreased in next cases. So first we have increased it and then decreased it, and we found that that proposed technique is giving minimum integral time absolute error. Means again it is following the result, following the trajectory, and also giving the minimum error, right? So this is the model uncertainty kind of things, and it is plotted in I can say that it is plotted in for different, like we have changes the M1 M2. So here you can see that again, while changing the parameter value, again this our controller is giving the minimum error. Similarly for the link 2 also, it is giving the minimum error. Similarly when we are decreasing the parameters, it is giving minimum, right? So this is one of the claim, right? Another claim is that suppose at a controller output, due to some external disturbance at controller output, someone hit on your manipulator, right? That is known as external disturbance. We are providing a force external means we are testing the I can say that we are testing our controller. So we are applying a forcefully external disturbance to our controller, right? In that case, we have considered a sinusoidal type of input, and that is sin 50t applied to the controller output. And these are the amplitude of the. So we have applied 0.1 to 1. Again, first we have applied the external disturbance to the link 1, and again link 2, that is link 2, and at last we have applied in all the links, right? Again, you can see that this value is minimum for proposed technique compared to the rest of the techniques, right? So from this table also we can say that our control technique is giving better performance compared to the rest one. And this is pictorially we are represented. This same thing in pictorial representation. This is your controller minimum, right? Again, this is a controller. Very यहाँ पे है ना, आपको दिख रहा होगा. Okay, so okay, and again we have plotted all the performance things that is trajectory tracking performance, path test by effectors, right? And again the XY coordinate and control output. Same thing we have done for the applying at disturbance at a control output, right? That is a disturbance applied. You can see that controller is fluctuating because of this particular sinusoidal, and however they are giving the they are following the proper result. Some fluctuation are there, but not much, right? It means they are working properly. Error is also fluctuating, you can see. So from this research, we have found that, right, proposed controller is giving a better trajectory compared to the available literature. And if any changes in the control output, our controller is accommodating it also. Like we have seen, we have applied one of the disturbance at a control output, and the results are coming properly. So it means it is adapting the things, right? And we have we have tested our controller for different robustness testing, like parameter variation, external disturbance, right? And from there, I can conclude it that this controller is better than rest, right? So this thing is done by me at time of my PhD work, right? So this is from my side. Amit sir,
Yes, sir.
are there?
Yes, sir.
Right.
So,
So any question from audience, sir? You can take it.
yeah, any questions, audience, please? If you have any question, you can type or you can ask by unmute yourself.
Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, you have taken external disturbances as 0.1 sine 50t, like that you have tried out. So many combinations.
Right.
What is the, that principle behind taking that point like that sine 50t?
Right. Very interesting questions, right? Actually, you have to take any kind of disturbance, but in this particular problem, we have considered one kind of available sinusoidal type of disturbance, right? Which is continuously varying with time, right? If we suppose we are applying some load disturbance, means one kind of step input, that is also possible, but it is not varying. It is fixed on one position, right? So that's why we have considered some kind of sinusoidal with 50. That is frequencies also we have considered high, right? So that the big fluctuation observed at control output can be handled. I hope you got your answer.
Yeah, like why that 50 hertz or?
You can take 100 also. There is no problem.
Yeah.
It depends upon your control. Maybe my controller is not working for 100, so that's why I have taken for 50.
So from the external disturbance, I couldn't go through all the results. So how much your system could withstand the magnitude?
Yeah, actually, this is again a comparative kind of thing, right? Suppose one of the controller may handle bigger amplitude, right? Some may handle lesser. So it depends upon your finding. If you can give your finding in as an output, right, in your literature, that if you are taking such a higher amplitude, our controller may fail, right?
Yeah.
In our case, we have considered this only. I don't know, I don't remember right now, but if we are increasing the amplitude more than 10 or 20, right, it is our controller is failing for that particular purpose.
Yeah, it's only like taking from a smaller magnitude to how much it can bear. That's all, isn't
Right,
it, sir?
right.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
right.
you. Thank you.
Any other, please ask.
Yeah, questions from others, please. In fact, we will provide the complete these recording on YouTube, or we will provide the link. So the complete PPT with the explanation by Dr. Anupam Kumar will be available on the provided link.
Great. रिकॉर्डिंग आप करवा दीजिए सर.
Okay. Bane ji? Bane ji, are you there?
No problem.
ठीक.
I think
Oh,
sir, there is no question from the participant.
yeah. So
I hope कुछ समझ में आया होगा लोगों को.
yes, you have covered the basics.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yeah. Messenger, you have any question? Please ask.
No, sir. I need PPT, sir.
Great. I will provide it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay, Anupam sir, then I think we can close this session, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, thank you.
Most of the questions from. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir,
Yes,
shall
sir,
I
please.
ask just one more question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, that tuning of the gains has been done according to that optimization, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
In all the methods that you have taken,
All the method means?
like 4 kinds of controllers you have tried out.
Yeah. Actually, when we are working for the such type of problems, in order to make it fair comparison, we have to tune all the controllers, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, the comparison will not be fair, right?
yeah.
So that's why we have taken one ABCGA and tune all the parameters, all the control parameters.
Okay, fine, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.